Hello everyone. In this video, we're going to see how we can implement DNS server in our Cisco Packet Tracer. But first, let's understand what a DNS server is. So DNS server, or a domain name system server, is actually a very crucial part of the internet infrastructure that allows users to access websites using human readable domain names instead of hard to remember IP addresses. Now it functions as kind of a directory service that translates domain names into IP addresses, enabling web browsers to locate and retrieve the requested web page. A DNS server operates on a hierarchical system with a root domain, top-level domains, and subdomains. Now, the DNS servers can be configured to serve various functions such as caching, frequently accessed domain names, to improve performance, or serving as authoritative sources of information for specific domain names. So finally, a DNS server is actually a very fundamental component of the internet, translating domain names into IP addresses and enabling users to access websites with ease. So now we go to the implementation. Let's create a network here. Keep one PC. Add a switch. Networking device. Add a switch. And let's search servers here. server. Okay, so we'll add 3 different servers. Now what we're going to do is we're going to make this our DHCP server for providing IP address to the PC. The another one is going to be our DNS server, which keeps records of all the domain names as well as their respective IP addresses, and then this is going to be a file server for one specific website that we're going to see here. Now let's make these connections from PC to switch at first, from switch to our DHCP server, DNS server, and finally to our file server. Now we'll first configure our DHCP server here. So while configuring our DHCP server, we go to desktop, IP configuration, and we set our DHCP server IP to 192.168.1.1, and we leave other services as it is. Now go to services and go to DHCP. We'll provide our default gateway 192.168.1.1, and our DNS server is going to be 192.168.1.2. We have not configured this yet, but we'll do it again and hit save. So our records are saved here, and turn this service to on. Now close this. Now after that, we'll configure our DNS server. As we've already mentioned, our DNS server IP will be 192.168.1.2. The subnet mask is going to be a Class C subnet mask. After this, we go to services, DNS, and we'll create a record here. Let's say www.csit4.com, and the file server or the IP address this should be pointing to will be 192.168.1.3. Hit add, and your domain name as well as your file server IP address is stored here in our DNS server. Turn on this DNS service and close this. Now we go to our file server here, and you can just go to services. First, let's keep the IP here. So as we've already mentioned, our file server IP is going to be 192.168.1.3. This will be the subnet mask. Our default gateway will be 192.168.1.1, and our domain name server will be 192.168.1.2. Nothing else is needed here. You can just close this. So now we can go to our PC and first check its IP, since we have a DHCP server. So that DHCP server can provide an IP for this PC here. Okay. So the DHCP server has variety 192.168.1.4 for this PC. The default gateway is our DHCP server itself here, and the DNS is our DNS server that we've configured 1.2. So now close this one and go to your web browser. Now just type in your web address that you've saved in your DNS server and hit go. And we have a website. Well, you might be wondering where this came from. Let's just make a few changes on this file server itself, and then we'll check this again. So open your file server, and suppose you've changed your web browser codes. So this will point to index.html always. So we'll just remove everything from here for now and just keep HTML, and then keep a paragraph tag, and inside this we'll write welcome to CSIT for DNS server practical. Hit save. Okay, this will ask you whether you want to overwrite it or not. Yes, I want to overwrite this, and just close this. Now you go back to your PC and you re-enter this web address again. You can see we have our packet here. Let's go to simulation and see how your packet is being transmitted here. Okay, so we go to simulation, and we'll again open our server here. So let's send a request to www.csit4.com. Now what happens is your packet, your request packet is actually starting from here. It first goes to the switch, and after that it goes to the DNS server, fetching your IP address. Now that particular IP address comes back to the PC here. Now based on that IP address, what happens is your actual request for the file server moves ahead, and after that particular response is returned back to the PC. Okay, so as you can see, this was a successful implementation of a DNS server as well as a file, as well as its file server. We'll make a few changes here. We'll add one more website to this one. Let's go ahead, and we'll not be changing anything here, but we'll add a new web address here, www.facebook.com for now. And this IP is going to be 192.168.1. We already have 1.4, so let's give it 1.5 and just add this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to add a new server here. So go for servers and add a new server here. This will be my facebook.com web server for now. In case of my network, I had this connection. Okay, so let me also write this. This will be my Facebook web server for my own network, and this is my and this is my CSIT4 web server. Okay, so you can call this web server or a file server. Now what I want you to do is I want to open this. Go to your IP address and 192.168.1. Let's keep this 1.6 or 7 or 8. Okay, I'll give this 1.8. The subnet mask is okay. My default gateway will be 192.168.1.1, and my DNS server will be 192.168.1.2. And let me go to services. I want to edit this content here, and what I want you to show is H1 welcome to Facebook, and just close H1 here and hit save. Yes, obviously. Now we go back to our PC and see if facebook.com does return some kind of response or not. Okay, it did not return any response. So let me check my DNS server again. What IP did I keep here? Oh, sorry. So I should have kept the IP of the file server 1.5. I kept this 1.8. So let's just edit that and then it's done. So this should be 1.5 here and everything else is okay. So go to your PC again and hit a request once more and you get the response from the web server. Okay, so this is how you implement a DNS server in your network. So as we discussed in our lectures too, a DNS server stores your domain names as well as the respective IP addresses. What your PC does is your PC first fetches the respective IP address of the web server or file server from the DNS server, and based on that IP address, it sends its request packet to that server and gets a response from that particular file server or web server. Okay, so this is all for today. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you.